So for example, on mine, my portion of the photo is 2C. So I'm going to write my name. Ugh, okay, never mind, my pen's not working so much on the back of this. Mrs. Wirtz. Oh, for Pete's sake. Maybe a pencil would work better. Mrs. Wirtz. Wow. 2C. Okay, that's barely legible. I might have to pass out some Sharpies to you guys so you can read it a little bit more legibly, but we basically want to make sure that each person's photo and canvas are constantly with each other, and you can put your name on the paper, your photo reference as well. Ugh, that's supposed to be a T. Okay. So you want to make sure that as you're marking this out, that the numbers are always facing up, like away from you over here, and that the letters are on your left-hand side. Letters, left, both start with L. Pretty great. So most of your guys' pieces have more detail on your canvas than mine. On your photo. I took this because I didn't want to have to be spending a whole lot of time on mine. I wanted to mostly be helping you guys. Sometimes that doesn't happen the way it should. But just so you kind of know how things go, if you see a thing on your photo, one of the main things that we're going to try to do today is kind of block that out on our canvas. So you're just going to sort of pretend you're like a copy machine, you know? Square by square, copy the data that you see. This may seem like there's almost no data, but it still matters. So I'm going to go to 1A, or A1 or whatever, and I'm just going to lightly sketch in that little sort of thing that I see. I'm going to go to B1, and I'm going to lightly sketch in that little shape that I see, and so on. So I'm basically trying to delineate where I see information in each of these things so that later on I can go back and add that with paint, basically. Some of you guys have very clear, distinct edges on this, for example. Like y'all can clearly see what this is, right? Teeth. So for this, she would definitely be like making those hard line shapes. Some of these are a little bit more indistinct, right? Okay, what's above teeth? Obviously, like a mustache on this person. So she's going to be kind of outlining some of these little shapes in there as well. We're not going for hyper-realism here because the style, which we'll talk more about next time as we get more layers on this and we get more detail, the style is not hyper-realism, but the placement of everything matters. So because some of you guys are doing like eyes and part of a nose, which it might be hard for you to tell that you're doing part of a nose at this point. But if you add all the detail in the squares that it's supposed to be, then this will turn out good. I promise. You just kind of have to pretend to be a Xerox machine. Just take my word for it. It's not going to look right until they're all put together, and then you're going to be like, what? So, because it all works right when everybody puts the squares where they're supposed to be. So the main focus for today is just kind of pretending to be a Xerox machine, going square by square, and it's kind of essential to be fairly focused on this. You don't want to wind up going like, oh no, I just did this square, but that's supposed to be that one there, and like you don't want to lose track of where you are. So if you're kind of one of those people that can talk and be like looking down at their thing the whole time, great. Like some of you guys who have been in my class for a while, you know the concept of art talk. Art talk is where you're maybe chatting with people, but you're looking down the entire time. There's a lot of people who think they can talk and work at the same time, but very few people who actually can. So if you find yourself getting distracted and just like staring at the person across from you as they tell you their amazing story about how like they went to Disney World and there was a unicorn and whatever, I don't know, like then you need to focus on your stuff. Okay, so that's basically the brief for today. Questions about this? Don't be afraid to ask a question. Somebody else might have the same question. Never know. Nothing. Okay, let us commence.